Hey guys, thanks for coming back. We are down to the home stretch here, so just a few more to go. Hang in there with me. If you thought the last lesson was a little tough, it's because it was. This is going to be a little bit easier, but the next lesson is going to be a little bit tougher again. And then that's it. That's the hard stuff. Then we're done with the hard stuff. Okay, this is called solving systems of equations by elimination. So, our steps. Step 1, we want to look for the variable with the same absolute value. So remember, absolute value means always positive. So we're going to focus in on the signs after, but we want to try to find a variable that has the same coefficient. So they're both 1s, they're both 2s, they're both 3s. I'll point that out as we look at our examples. We're going to eliminate that variable by adding or subtracting. So now it depends on the sign. Well, if they're both positive, they're not going to eliminate, right? They're going to add up to a bigger number. So if they were both positive, we would use subtraction. If the signs were opposite, well, now we don't have to worry about subtracting. One's negative, one's positive. The negative is already in there, essentially. We just add them together. Step 3. With step 2, that's going to lead us to solving for one of our variables. So step 3, we're going to substitute just like we did in the last one. So that's the first 2 steps is the new stuff. We have to substitute back in substitute your answer into one of the equations to solve for the opposite variable. So just like in the substitution. And then we're going to check our work. Okay. So these equations look a little bit might look a little different here. Or with elimination, we're always going to see them this way. An X and a Y on the left side, or even maybe the right, but most commonly it's this way. And then your constants by itself on the other side of the equal sign. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about here. We want to look at both of the Y's and both of the X's, and we want to look for the one that's the same. Well, in problem 1, they're all the same. They all have coefficients of 1, so that's great. So here, it doesn't matter which way we do this. Now we're going to look at the signs. Opposite signs are even better. If our signs are opposite, then all we have to do is add these together. So remember, these all have invisible 1s. Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2y. Positive 1 plus a negative 1 eliminates or cancels. So that's what we're trying to do, is get rid of one of these variables. So that's gone. 4 plus 8 is 12. And now we finish solving. 2 times what is 12? Divide by 2. Y is equal to 6. Okay, so we just did step 1, we did step 2, and now step 3, we're going to substitute Y into either one of the equations. So I'll just go with the top. I'll probably do that every time just to kind of show consistency, but you don't have to. So 6 plus what equals 4? We'll solve by doing the inverse operation, or maybe you already know it. Maybe you might be able to do that in your head. -2. If that confused you, you could always pull out your calculator as well. Okay, so if you need your calculator, use your calculator. And I'll start using mine along the way here too when I need it. So now I got what I believe Y is. I've got what I believe X is. So I'm going to check my work by using the opposite equation. So Y minus X has to equal 8. Y was 6 minus, now careful here, -2 equals 8. Remember when we subtract a negative, those become positive. Again, use your calculator if you're unsure. So it's really just 6 plus 2, which is 8. And it checks. So again, we're looking for an intersection point X comes first, then Y. Here's my answer, or my solution. Okay. Now at any point you can pause your video and try it on your own if you're feeling confident, and I'll remind you along the way. Okay, so here we've got 5 and 6. Well, those are obviously not the same number. Our Y's are both 4s, right? That's what we want to see. Okay. Signs now are the opposite. That's fine. That's a good thing. That means that these will just cancel out using addition. So 5 plus 6 is 11x. Negative 4 plus a positive 4 cancels or eliminates. 17 plus a negative 6 is really just 17 minus 6. So we've got 11. Divide by 11. X equals 1. Now I've got to do part 3. I'm going to go with the top. I'm going to substitute in my X after I rewrite. So I'm just picking the top one just because maybe one looks easier than the other and you want to do the other one. That's totally up to you. You're going to find the same answer. So 5 times 1 minus 4y equals 17. You also got to be careful. The last one we solved for y first. Here we have x. So we got to make sure we plug them in the right way. That's usually a common mistake I see. Multiply 5 times 1. Now it's a 2-step. Subtract 5 from both sides. Don't lose the negative on the 4. 17 minus 5 is 12. Divide by negative 4. Y is equal to negative 3. So I believe my solution is 1, negative 3. I'm going to check it. I'm going to use the opposite equation. So 6x plus 4y equals negative 6. 6 times 1 plus 4 times a negative 3 equals negative 6. 6 plus a negative 12, or maybe you want to just write 6 minus 12. 6 minus 12, or 6 plus a negative 12, is negative 6. It checks. We did it correctly. Now this one, I'm going to suggest that you don't pause. Maybe pause after we get started, but I want to show you what happens here. Okay. My x's have the same coefficient. My y's have different coefficients. So I want to focus in on the x's. However, if I were to add negative 6 plus negative 6, and just to make sure you believe me, negative 6 plus negative 6 is not 0. You can't add those. It won't cancel. But if we do negative 6 minus negative 6, we get 0. So instead of addition, like we did in the previous two, we're going to use subtraction. We have to subtract all of them, not just the first two. So negative 6 minus a negative 6 eliminates. Positive 5 minus a negative 4 becomes plus 4. So I get 9y. 1 minus 10, negative 9. Again, use your calculator if the integers aren't one of your strong points. All right, divide by 9, y equals negative 1. I'm going to go with the top one again. I'm going to substitute in for y. I'm going to do the multiplication. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. You can write plus a negative 5, or I just wrote minus 5. Now it's a two-step. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Negative 6x is equal to 6. Divide by negative 6. X is equal to a negative 1. I believe my answer is negative 1, negative 1. Let's check it. I'm going to use the bottom. Negative 6x minus 4y equals 10. Negative 6 times a negative 1 minus 4 times a negative 1 equals 10. Negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. 6 plus 4 is 10. It checks. Okay. All right. Maybe you're feeling good. Maybe you're feeling confident. If you want to pause it and try it. If not, keep going with me. All right, we have 7 and 8 that you could do on your own. So only if you're feeling confident, pause it. 4 and 2, obviously not the same number. 9 and 9, all right. Both are positive. 9 plus 9 is not 0. So we have to do 9 minus 9. So we're subtracting everything. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 9 minus 9 is 0. 25 minus 23 is 2. Divide each side by 2, negative 2. X equals negative 1. Okay, maybe you want to pause it at this point and try it. I'm going to stick with the top. Negative 1 is x. Two times negative 1 is negative 2. It's a two-step. 9y is equal to 27. Divide by 9. Y is equal to 3. Okay, I believe my solution is negative 1, 3. But I won't move on until I check it. I'm going to use the opposite equation. So I've got 4 times negative 1 plus 9 times 3. Got to get to 23. Even at this point, too, some of this, go to your calculator, punch all that in. Here, we can do this together. 4 times negative 1 plus 9 times 3, 23. All right, that's what we wanted to get here. I don't want your check. I always say this. I don't want the check to be a difficult thing because I want you to do it. I always want you to do it so that you know you got it right. Right? You get it right when it counts on the tests. On your Regents exams. You'll see this topic next year. Big part of 9th grade algebra. Okay. All right. 4 and 4, oh, we also got 3. So they're going to add together if we try adding. So we've got to subtract again. 4 minus 4 cancels. Well, 3 minus 3 also cancels, leaving us with 0 over here. 7 minus 10, -3. We did not make a mistake. This happened in substitution, right? When the variables disappear, that tells us one of two things. It's either no solution or infinite solutions. Do you remember which one it is? So hopefully you're saying it to yourself, but this is not true. 0 does not equal -3. So if it's not true, oh, I don't know how to write or spell. If it's not true, then it's no solution. Well, I can't write again. I apologize. No solution. So these are parallel lines. Okay. Our answer, there's no solution. Our work's done. Look at that. Okay. Word problem. Kim and Helen are selling tickets to the school musical. Kim sold 20 student tickets and 62 adult tickets for a total of 596. Helen sold 20 student tickets and 44 adult tickets for a total of 452. What was the price of one student ticket and one adult ticket? All right, so we've got to set up two equations. So we want to concentrate on one equation for Helen and one equation for Kim. Now with these, instead of using X and Y's, I like to use other variables to help me remember which one represents which. If not, you can write a let statement and say let X equal this and Y equal this. So whatever you prefer. Let's try using different variables because you might see it, right, in other types of problems, multiple choice on your regents, things like that. Okay, so Kim, she's got 20 student tickets, 62 adult tickets. So she sold 20 student, I'm going to use an S, make sure your S's don't look like 5s, you might get confused, plus 62 adult tickets, I'm going to use an A, for a total of $596. Okay, Helen sold 20 student tickets as well and 44 adult tickets, and she made 452. Okay, perfect. We've got matches here, so our student tickets are both 20. So we want to find S and find A, the price of a student ticket and the price of an adult ticket. So I'm going to use subtraction. 20 minus 20 cancels. Make sure I don't make any mistakes here. I'm going to go to my calculator. 62 minus 44 is 18. And then 596 minus 452. I've got 144. Divide each side by 18. And I've got an adult ticket is equal to $8. I meant to make a dollar sign there. $8. Remember, we're not done. We've got to find that student ticket. So I'm going to use the top one again. So it works just the same. Even though these numbers are much bigger than the ones we were looking at, it really wasn't that much more difficult. So we've got 20S plus 62 times 8 equals 596. Going to the calculator, 62 times 8, 496. Now it's a two-step. I'm going to subtract 496 from both sides. We get 100. Divide by 20. Student ticket is equal to $5. Oh, You can check these. I'll go to my calculator. We'll check it on the calculator. But keep in mind, if you put your equation together wrong, the check's not going to help you with that. Okay. So we had 20 for the other equation. I'm looking at the bottom one here. 20 times, we found 5 for a student, plus 44 times 8 for an adult. We need it to equal 452. It checked. It worked out. Okay. All right. I'm going to apologize right now. I meant to do these last two ahead of time and show you the answers like I normally do, but I forgot. So you pause it, you do the work, and I'm going to go through these quickly, okay, a little quicker than those first 6. Okay, I won't talk. I'm just going to solve them, and then you can take a look at your answers. All right. Okay, guys. Good luck. Remember, if you're struggling, come to office hours. Really, this one and our next one is the last tougher ones. I'm going to say this is tough. So if you understand this, that's awesome. If you're struggling a little bit, don't worry. You'll get the hang of it. All right. We'll see ya.